What's up, everybody? King Triple C here, the Olympic champion, flyweight champion, the bantamweight champion of the world. And I got a public service announcement to all you wannabe MMA casuals or MMA fans for that reason. You guys make sure to listen to my boy Story of the Fight with Will and Miro. You know why? Because Triple C said so. And if you don't, you can do me a favor and you can bend the knee to King Triple C 2.
Sweet. Dude, I think the microphone thing's getting better.
Yeah.
I don't know. You tell me, dude. You're on the other end.
Seems like it.
Yeah?
Yeah. I mean, there's no lisp anymore.
Yeah. I've just been working on that.
That's been so fun. I've been working on that. Been going to therapy for that.
I've been working on it. Yes, I have. No, dude, I don't know what the hell's going on. Remember my boy Corey said sometimes these microphones just kind of work themselves out after a while, so he might be right. It only took, I don't know how many episodes.
Yeah, well, what's weird
is it sounds a little bit better.
It worked itself into a lisp because it wasn't there before, and then it worked back out.
And then I don't know what's going on, man. As long as it's working now.
Yeah.
That's all that matters, dude. Do you have anything going on this week?
Oh, man. Not really, to be honest. Nothing really.
No?
No, how about you?
Nope. Same here, dude.
Yeah.
Nothing new other than just fucking looking forward to the weekend UFC fights.
Just a week down the drain.
Another week forgotten.
Yeah.
Just right by, dude.
Oh,
no biggies. Yeah. But no, nothing new. Like I said, just look, this is my life, dude. I go to work and I wait for Saturday.
Yeah, pretty much.
For fights. And sometimes Fridays, depending if Bellator is going to have any decent fights. But for the most part, I'm just looking forward to the weekend.
Yeah. Pretty much.
You know what I mean?
I'll catch other stuff here and there.
Were you able to catch all the fights?
Yes, I was.
Dude, I was so jealous. I'm telling you, like, when you're texting me, I'm like, oh, God, I hate missing fights.
Well, what's crazy is it was back to back finishes, all submissions, and then you started watching, and then it was back to back decisions.
Yeah,
so,
I know. It must have just been bad luck, dude.
I was like, dude, this part's crazy. And you're like, yeah, I wish I was watching. And then as soon as you started watching.
Like, dude, it's not that crazy. I mean, there's some interesting stuff going on, but it's not that crazy.
Yeah. Well, you definitely jumped in on the least exciting fight of the whole card for the most part.
Yeah.
It wasn't terrible.
Yeah.
And the last 3 seconds were crazy of the fight.
Yeah, dude. With that head kick?
Yeah, that was wild.
Yeah, but dude, I mean, which would be the first fight we talk about? Would it be the Caceres fight?
Let's real quick. I want to talk about Martin versus Cifers. We'll kick it off right
yes.
there. Yeah.
Martin versus Cifers, dude. Cifers coming through with that overhand right.
Right to her fourth loss in a row.
Yeah. Poor Cifers.
Man.
It looked like she was going to get it for a little bit there.
They could have easily called that in the first round. I'm glad they didn't, obviously, but they definitely could have called it in the first round.
Good reffing again.
He's been doing really, really well this past couple of weeks. He's had a few fights that are like this, to the point where even Dominic Cruz had to throw his input on. I wish this guy reffed my fights.
What's that ref's name again?
Tyone?
No. The one that reffed Dom Cruz's fight.
Oh,
the one that looks like
Keith Peterson.
Yes, Keith Peterson. He looks like a washed up Cody Garbrandt.
Yeah,
like years from now.
Yeah, apparently he smells like washed up Cody Garbrandt too. Cruz said he smelled like alcohol and cigarettes.
Dude, it's so funny though how that ref was going hard at Cruz after that too.
I know. I would too, dude.
Hey, Peterson. Yeah, for sure. Peterson, you just keep on doing your thing, man.
Yeah, I keep calling fights early.
So funny. But yeah, man, what did you think of Martin?
Dude, I mean, yeah, she took a beating in that first round, dude. And then, had a sweet comeback. I mean, Cifers obviously isn't the most dangerous finisher, but I mean, still, she took a beating in that first round and then just kind of stuck with it. You could tell Cifers, her ground game is just purely defensive and not that great defensively. No disrespect.
Yeah.
But it's clearly where she gets kind of drowned out.
Yeah, and it's funny you mentioned that because I believe she even said that her corner had instructed her, get her up against the cage, get her down on the ground, do what you do.
Wait, whose corner
she
said
ended
that?
up getting the with Martin.
Oh, okay. I thought you said Cifers' corner said that. I was like, are you serious?
No, Martin.
Yeah.
Instructed her to get her down, do what she does. You know what I mean? So, good for her, man. She was able to weather that storm, come back in the second round, and finish it off with the rear naked choke.
Yeah.
Yeah,
that was sick.
Did you have anything else on that fight? What's wrong?
My arm's bleeding a little bit, and I have no idea why.
That's how intense those fights were for you last night, dude. You're still bleeding out today. No, let's move over to Caceres versus Springer.
Yeah, so this was sick, dude. And I love Alex Caceres so much, and he's had so many ups and downs. I mean, after this fight, with this win, he's 17-12. Not the most elite record, but dude, he's just so cool. I don't know if you saw like his post-fight interviews and just kind of he's just so positive. And this was his third opponent. The first one fizzled. He was supposed to fight Kevin Kroom, and then he was supposed to fight one of the best names in the sport in Giga Chikadze.
Yes.
and then got your boy Austin Springer, who I've never heard of, but took advantage of the opportunity and looked fantastic. It's just so cool to see him get a win because he's such a cool guy.
I know, man. I love his positive attitude and his energy as he comes out. For me, he's a less annoying version of Dotson. You know, like how he just comes out, that big old smile on his face, dancing around. And you know me, Will, I always pay attention to the walkout music. Yeah. I wasn't mad at both of them.
No.
You know what I mean? When Springer came out with some Macklemore, and I was like, all right, respect. Yeah. I think this was his UFC debut, if I remember correctly.
Correct.
Coming off of the Contender Series, missed weight.
I think 2 days notice he took this fight or something crazy like that.
Yeah. So missed weight, and I mean, understandably so. You can understand why he missed weight on this one, right?
100%.
And just props to both fighters for taking this fight. Caceres still wanted to get another fight in, and Springer again. I guess when you're going to make your UFC debut, whenever that call comes through, you can't really
jump on it. Yeah, you jump on it.
You got to jump on it. See if you're able to capitalize.
Yeah, and it was cool seeing Caceres talk about how he felt like he was mentally putting himself in like a cage or like he was typecasting himself and limiting himself into being like, oh, you're just a striker. I think he said his words were like, you're just a striker and you're not even that good of a striker, was how he was categorizing himself. And then he was like, he just had kind of a newfound mentality and was like, fuck that. Like, I can do anything. I'm just going to do whatever comes up. And he was like, I want to get a submission in this fight just so I can prove to myself, like, I'm not just a mediocre striker and that's all I have. So he comes in, gets the rear naked. It's just such a cool thing. I love seeing that guy.
When I was watching the fight too, what led to the rear naked choke, I could just see a smile on your face after he hit him with that body shot. Yeah. Which prompted Springer to then go for that shot on Caceres. Because I know you will. And I know how much you love the body shots.
Dude, they're so sick. And like, that's, for me, he can call himself a mediocre striker. And comparably to like boxers and stuff, maybe that's true. But anybody who mixes in successfully body shots, you're already a notch above most people, in my opinion. Everybody just forgets about it and they just go head hunting. But if you're mixing that stuff in, it's so sick. It just shows that you have a deeper understanding of how it works, you know?
Yeah, and I think this gives him his third win in a row.
Third win in a row.
So good for Caceres. You know, and you mentioned his record, 12 losses on his record, and considering that this is his third win in a row, I'm happy the UFC is stuck by Caceres.
Same.
He's a fan favorite. A lot of people love Caceres, so that's probably why they keep him around a little bit longer. But I'm excited to continue seeing him fight. And he wants to get in there as quickly as possible. He was talking about how he didn't take very much damage. So
he wants to fight again this year. I don't think he even got hit.
Yeah, he said he didn't get touched. I mean, a lot of fighters say that, but I don't remember seeing him take any major blows. He took some inside leg kicks.
Yeah, but I don't think he got punched in the face once.
Yeah, so smooth outing for him, man. Let's get him back in here as soon as possible.
Yeah, he also said, I don't know if you saw it. Did you see his? They didn't do like the post-fight press conference with him, but they do like those backstage interviews too now. Did you see his?
No, I did not. The backstage interview.
Yeah, he's just talking about how he's been like so much more positive now. He's moved back to his hometown and over in Florida, and talking about how he just like had to check himself and talk and think like just to be grateful for like what he does have when there's so many people out there who like don't have anything, and just such a cool like mindset to have for him. And I think a lot of people forget, or maybe just don't know, because everybody talks about Kimbo and Jorge Masvidal with like the backyard fighting, the street fighting and stuff, and like it's so badass, all this stuff. But Caceres was doing the same thing back then. You can find all his old backyard fights on YouTube also. Bare knuckle, just crazy stuff. Guy's way bigger than him he's fighting. So like he comes from that same background. And I love Masvidal. I've always been a fan of Masvidal, but once he kind of became how popular he is, he's just kind of insufferable to me a little bit. And Caceres has just never, I don't know. Masvidal talks this whole tough guy thing. Oh, it came from the streets, all this stuff. And then you look at Alex Caceres, and he's talking about how he's grateful for what he has, and that like we have no room to complain because we have all these things. Like, I don't know. The stark difference between the two of them is just cool to see. You know? Yeah,
I think he has less of a chip on his shoulder.
Yeah,
I feel like Masvidal has more of a chip on his shoulder, right? And
I think Masvidal also he just leans into it because it got him so pop, and I understand it. It makes him make way more money when he leans into it, but I don't.
It's almost become his persona.
Yeah, it's almost like he's drinking his own Kool-Aid now, which kind of sucks.
Yeah, again, dude, fame does some weird things to some people.
Yeah,
you know, so
not me though.
He's still a cool guy. It seems like so. Yeah,
easy for me to say, Lams.
I know. All right, man. You want to go on to the next one?
Yeah.
Was that the Kasanganay?
Kasanganay versus Maki Pitolo. What a fun fight.
Kasanganay. I think this was another UFC debut, if I remember correctly, with Kasanganay.
Yeah, so this is actually my story of the night is a two-parter.
Ooh.
Yeah, and this is one of them. Because it's during these times, right? We have international fighters can't come here to fight on these Vegas cards, right? Mm-hmm. So they do the Fight Island thing. There's a lot of people who aren't vocal about it, but I'm sure they're saying we're not fighting during this time, and that's cool for them. But what that does is allow opportunities for all these newcomers, right? And not just people sitting out on the sidelines for now, which is fine, but also the fact that you might test positive. They might have to do a late opponent change. I mean, Caceres, that was his third opponent, right? So they might have a backup guy, and that guy might get called out, and then have another backup guy. So things like that are happening, and it's allowing these guys an opportunity to make a name for themselves. And Maki, including Maki Pitolo, that guy, we've talked about him before. I'm a huge fan of him, of his, and he lost last night, but I don't think his stock goes down in this performance. I think both these guys, they're still so fresh that they're going to learn a ton from these fights that they're having. And this opportunity that they have right now during this whole era to just continue fighting. I mean, Maki fought like a month ago, you know. Impa, this is his debut, gets a debut. What a perfect, if you can hang, what a perfect debut opponent for someone like Kasanganay to be able to
with
just...
Pitolo?
Yeah, he's not going to... It's not like a overpowering wrestler who's just going to lay on you and control you. You get to showcase your stuff. You get to showcase your chin. It's just... What a cool matchup, and Kasanganay really took advantage of his opportunity, and that's part of the story for me of the night.
That's awesome, yeah, and I think, like you said, we mentioned before how much we enjoy watching Pitolo. Mm-hmm. He's an exciting fighter, Hawaiian-style fighter that just likes to throw down. Yeah. That's what makes his fights so fun. Mm-hmm. And I was really impressed with Kasanganay and his patience and his poise for this being his UFC debut.
Yeah.
You could see that he was really picking his shots. he wasn't getting overly aggressive. So I really enjoyed that fight as well, and I'm excited about Kasanganay also.
Yeah, and not just his UFC debut, but this is his 3rd year of training. That's insane. He's been training for 3 years.
3 years.
Yeah.
That's it.
That's unheard of.
Pretty impressive.
Unheard of.
That's pretty impressive. Yeah, can you imagine somebody saying like, hey, I've only played football for 3 years and I'm in the NFL right now and I'm starting for the Dallas Cowboys, or you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's pretty damn impressive, man.
Very impressive. And like you said, not just his UFC debut, but 3 years in, and he keeps a composure against somebody who throws bombs, those coconut bombs. So like he's just and something that really, really impressed me out of Pitolo is normally like the Hawaiian brawler style is very much volume based. But that's almost their defense is their volume. You can't get a shot off. But Pitolo, man, with his back against the cage, his shoulder rolls and his head movement and his framing, man, his striking defense is sick. There was one flurry that Casanganay, if he was fighting a lesser striker, he would have put him out for sure.
Yeah.
But Pitolo was just rolling with shots, blocking shot, and I was like, God damn, it was like some Matrix shit he was doing. It was everybody always looks at Matrix shit with the leaning far back over or under a high kick or something, but man, his ability to just dodge, head movement, block, it was just fucking sick. It was a fun fight.
Yeah,
I hope they got a backroom bonus. I hope they both got a backroom bonus because they didn't win fight of the night, but they were definitely the runner-up for fight of the night.
Yeah, and we talked about how Uncle Dana really loves these types of fighters that put on a show and they're willing to put it all on the line for him and the organization. So we'll continue seeing Pitolo down the road, I'm sure.
Yeah,
and once again, we got to enjoy these types of cards because this is where people start becoming household names. We've said it before.
Yeah.
So just making sure that everybody tries to hop on these fights, get to know these fighters right now before they blow up and before they become famous, and fame does weird things to them, like it will do to my boy Will when he blows up as well.
Yeah. Yeah, very, very excited to see Kasanganay continue. That middleweight division, the top is so like crammed with top guys or like amazing guys, and then you have these lower level guys in the middleweight division who are like chomping at the bits to get up there, and that division's fun. It's a weird thing where it's almost like a sandwich where the very, very top is really good, and then like the like 7 through 15 not that great. And then there's guys right underneath that are like about to break through. That's going to be a fun division pretty soon. If Adesanya can get through Costa and let's just say Adesanya is going to be one of those like decade-long champs, he's not going to have the John Jones effect where he starts running out of
opponents,
contenders. Yeah. So he has the potential, and he's talked about like he wants a legacy title defense run, and he has the division that would definitely feed into that if he can continue winning. It's a fun one.
And I think he could do it, man.
I think so too.
Yeah. Want to move on to the next one?
Yeah, let's move from potential fight of the night to actual fight of the night.
So that'd be Lamas.
Yeah.
Lamas versus Algeo.
Here's the second part of my story of the night.
Yeah, this is a first for story of the fight. A two-parter.
Yeah, two-parter. So it's Casanganay coming in on his debut, taking advantage of his opportunity, and now it's Bill Algeo who makes his debut because Ryan Hall had to pull out of this fight. So they get a guy. I mean, dude, imagine it's one thing to come in, you're fighting Maki Pitolo, right? Tough fight. Imagine you making your debut and you're fighting fucking Ricardo Lamas, dude. That dude's terrifying. I mean, yeah, he's never been champ, but you look at his resume, he's only ever lost to the elite of the elite. So, I mean, Bill Algeo, major props for hanging in there in that fight and making it very competitive.
Yeah, I mean, one of my favorite UFC memories ever is with Lamas and Holloway, where Holloway just points down to the ground there, and then they just throw blows, man.
Yeah.
It was probably one of the funnest memories. So, what did you think overall of the fight?
I think I think this does deserve the fight of the night just because it's more technical and more back and forth than the Pitolo versus Kasanganay fight. But, dude, that first round, for me, I had never seen Algeo before. And just seeing him come in and it can go two ways, right? You can fold under the pressure, or you can say, I'm a short notice fighter. It's my debut. I'm fighting against Ricardo Lamas. If I lose, no one's going to be like, oh, he's a bum, you know? He has plenty of excuses if he wants them for why he lost this fight. And so you can either fold to the pressure, or you can come in with that mindset and say, fuck it, I'm just going to go out there and do my best. And I think that's what he did because, dude, his combos, the way he mixes in his punches and his kicks together is crazy, man. It's so crazy.
Yeah, I think that his bursts and combos that he was throwing at Lamas in the beginning, they were really aggressive and explosive, and it kind of threw him off at first. Lamas has a tendency to not shuffle his feet or move left and right. He tends to move back with his neck straight up in a line. So he got caught a couple times by Algeo. But, you know, man, those leg kicks from Lamas throughout the... Oh, my God. Those were nasty.
Nasty kicks.
And I think that's... I think that's what really ended up helping him, you know, secure the victory by the end there. And then... Once Lamas got on top there, just extremely dominant in that last round.
Yeah, man, his top game. Normally, you see if someone has somebody on their back for almost a full round, it's usually more about position control and just controlling them and not allowing them to have any space. But Lamas gave him tons of space because he was landing ground and pound the whole round, and he was just so crafty in just finding basically limbs that Algeo was leaving out to keep him off balance, because Algeo almost swept him like 5 or 6 times, and Lamas was like, nope, let me just pick this ankle. Nope, I'm just going to get under this far side on your arm, pull that out. And just his ability to maintain top control while ground and pounding and just continually moving was super impressive. And granted, Algeo looked like he was probably gassing out a little bit in that third round, but still very impressive for Lamas to dig deep. Because I thought, man, the first round really could have gone either way, in my opinion. Very close. I think I probably gave it to Lamas, but it was super close. Second round, in my opinion, it was a 10-8 round for Algeo. And then that third round, it's like you almost have to... 10-8
for Lamas?
In my opinion, I would say could even be... And this is just me. This isn't how it's scored, but I think the third round could have been a 10-7 for Lamas, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, it was that dominant.
I mean, Algeo had nothing in that third round. At least in the second round, Lamas had some answers and landed his own shots. Not that many, but he was there.
And going from the second round to the third round, like you said, I think Algeo might have started gassing a little bit, but you didn't see Lamas coast. And not only did Algeo gas a little bit, but you saw Lamas hit another gear.
That's where I've been doing this a long time, and I've been in the top 5 for a long time. I don't know if he's actually in the top 5 now, but I mean, he's been up there for a long time. And that's that experience of, you took that last one, but I'm not going to let you carry the momentum for the rest of the fight. Now I know. It's like a shutout inning in baseball, right?
Yep.
I'm the away team. You're at home. I lead off the game with the homer. It's 1-0. And then whatever, you get 3 outs. Now you're batting, and I shut you down. That just kills momentum. It just kills you. And that's exactly what Lamas did. Is just, I'm not going to let you shut me out for these next 2 rounds. And just, that's super. I mean, that's experience right there. Not just experience, but experience and just having the mindset. Because, I mean, Lamas has been doing it so long that if he started fading after that second round, nobody would discredit him. You know, he's been doing it for so long, everyone would understand that. But the fact that he can have the mentality to push his body to go that hard in the third round after losing the second like that, super impressive.
Yeah, and Lamas has always seemed to be in shape. He's always bodied up. You know what I mean?
He was jacked.
Yeah, Jack City for sure, man.
Yeah, it makes me wonder what would have happened if it was Lamas versus Ryan Hall, because the Lamas that showed up, you know? So who knows?
I just want to watch Ryan Hall.
I know. I know. Why did he pull out? Did he get injured?
Honestly, I don't even know. You might want to look that one up.
Hall injury is what it says.
Between fighters not wanting to face Hall due to the risk and reward, and Hall coming up with injuries, because he's pulled out of fights before due to injuries.
Yep.
It's just, he's a rare sighting, man. He's like Sasquatch.
Yeah. He's like Sasquatch. He's like a small Sasquatch.
Yeah, dude. That can break your leg in a couple seconds.
Yeah.
All right, man. You want to move on?
Yeah. Let's move on.
All right. This one here might have been obvious that I was probably going to go with this one, but this is my story of the fight.
Yeah.
You know, when I'm taking a look at this one, more than anything, it's just where do we go with Lawler from here? You know, I believe he's lost 5 out of his last 6.
Mm-hmm.
Since being knocked out by Woodley, he really hasn't looked the same. No. His only victory came over Donald Cerrone, and I think it was via decision.
Yeah.
What do we do with Lawler now? And he's one of those guys that, I mean, he's a future Hall of Famer for sure. You know, he continues saying that he still wants to continue fighting. I mean, I guess you could probably put a question mark on his loss to Ben Askren.
I put a big question mark.
Maybe,
I put a couple question marks on that one.
Yeah. But still, when you take a look at his record, that's 5 out of 6 that he's lost. So what's next for him, right? If you are Dana White, if you're Mick Maynard, what do you do with him, Will? Where do you go with Lawler?
How about a step down in competition if he wants to continue fighting? Because goddamn, if you look at the run, it's, I mean, Tyron Woodley, Cerrone, RDA, Ben Askren when he was a big question mark, Colby Covington, and now Neil Magny. Son of a bitch, man. That's a tough run for someone who's at the end of his career. But
it is.
If he wants to fight again, I mean, is he still ranked?
He is.
Yeah,
I believe it was 12th and 13th. This last fight that they had, he was 12th. Magny was 13th.
Yeah, man. Maybe you give him someone like Anthony Pettis. Pettis is ranked 15th. He's also kind of in that weird spot in his career. That's a decent fight. I don't even know. I would watch it. Me personally, though, what sealed the deal for me and not really wanting to watch Lawler fight again was after the second round when his coach asked him what's wrong, and he said, "I don't know." I was like, it's not the same. It's not him anymore. It's not ruthless Robbie Lawler.
It's up here. You know, when you think about the absolute wars that he has been through.
Yeah.
Wars.
He's basically had 2 careers.
Yeah. You know? At a certain point, I believe with these fighters, they're just like, man, this is what I'm known for. This is me. Like that's what, you know, that's what wakes them up every single day. Go to the gym, train. It's part of their routine. Mm-hmm. And they fear getting lost once they lose that part of their identity. Yeah. And sometimes that keeps these fighters around too long. And right now, I can think of 2 off the top of my head. One of them being Lawler, and the other one being Tyron Woodley. Yeah. Where, you know, Woodley has so many things going on outside of fighting. But again, his identity is within mixed martial arts. Yeah. You know, so it sucks because I think we're going to continue seeing Robbie Lawler go out there. Hopefully he gets, you know, renewed energy. He re-engages, maybe moving camps. I don't know, just something to get him going again. And last week we talked about how some of my favorite fighters and some of these iconic fighters for me, like a Donald Cerrone, now is just in that stage of his career where they're just giving him fun fights. We don't think we're going to see him do get another title run. And I think we're experiencing now the same thing with Robbie Lawler. Yeah, and that's why I mentioned Anthony Pettis, because I think we're in the same exact position with Anthony Pettis. So I feel like that's kind of a fun matchup. But I don't know. Me personally, Cerrone I'll still watch fight, especially if he's fighting younger guys and just, I don't know, stuff like that. But Lawler already has kind of a miraculous turnaround and resurgence once in his career. I just don't think you get 2 of those, you know? Yeah. Most people don't get 1. He got 1, and it's the most impressive resurgence that I can think of. I mean, his title run is some of the most exciting title fights of all time. The fact that he has some of the most, I mean, the fights with Johnny Hendricks were crazy. Rory McDonald, obviously, the Condit fight was an absolute war.
And then his run up to get to the belt was crazy. He was like the anti-lay and pray fighter. People would try to lay and pray him, and then as soon as they would let him up, he would just go like completely ballistic. It's like when you're watching someone get laid and prayed, and it's like 4 minutes of just nothing, and they're just held down. As a viewer, you're so frustrated. You're like, just get up and fuck him up in these last 10 seconds of the round. Lawler's the only guy I've seen ever do that. He always, anytime he's getting just laid and prayed, as soon as he gets a chance, he just, at least back then, he would just go completely nuts. And it was so satisfying to watch. And then there's fights where, in my opinion, with the scoring system, he should have lost from lay and pray. But I feel like the judges gave it to him because even the judges were like, fuck this. This guy wants it more. Yeah. Like his first fight with Rory McDonald, a lot of people forget that the title fight was a rematch. But the first fight, Rory was content with just laying on him the whole. That was when Rory was a blanket back in the day, and any time he gave him space, Robbie would just explode. And I thought most likely Rory had that decision, but they gave it to Robbie, and that was sick. And then I think that made Rory come out the way he did in the title fight, because he's like, well, that didn't work last time, got to change it up. Then we got one of the best fights of all time.
Yeah, man, I like your idea though of Anthony Pettis.
Yeah,
that'd be a fun fight. I think Anthony Pettis would be somebody that might be willing to throw down with Robbie Lawler.
Definitely.
Yeah, because looking outside of that, man, you got Nate Diaz. He's not going to come back unless it's something that gives him a big payday. Mm-hmm. Jeff Neal, Vicente Luque. Oh man, we got some killers in there, man.
Jeff Neal and Luque finish him. I don't want to see that.
Yeah, Stephen Wonderboy Thompson, no thanks. And I mean, you have a Damian Maia in there, but he's ranked 7th, so he's probably got a couple other fights in there. Other than, a Robbie Lawler that's around the end of his career. So Anthony Pettis would be fun.
I think that's, for me, in the top 15, that's the only fight that I would make, to be honest. Just because Pettis is in that same position, and Pettis even talks about it like he's in that position. He's like, yeah, fuck it, I'm just here to have fun fights. And,
I want to make sure that we give Neil Magny some credit too.
Oh, yeah.
He put together a really solid performance, man. Worked a phenomenal game plan. And I consider this to be a very Neil Magny fight.
Very.
Constant work. Never overextending on any strikes, just making sure he's always in the right position.
Just 1-2.
Extremely active. Yeah, 1-2 is extremely active. When he was on top, even, whether it was blows to the midsection, blows to the thighs, like he just kept on punching him on the thigh a couple times, and I just thought, like, man, that'd be so painful. But Lawler just had no answer.
Yeah, no answer. And we've seen him be stifled like this in his past few fights, especially against Colby, against RDA. He just kind of gets stuck now. I think. Yeah. I don't know if it's a mental thing with how he got KO'd from Woodley. If he's just too afraid to open up now, I don't know. But that seems weird to me because he's been stopped brutally before, like more than a few times early in his career, and it never changed his mentality. Like when Nick stopped him, he fell face down. And I don't know. It's interesting to see Magny.
I was going to say, that's one of my favorite stories, by the way, where Robbie Lawler says that he looks over at Nick and he yells, "Stop it, motherfucker." And he's like,
what?
What's up with this guy? What's he talking about right now?
Yeah.
One of the best stories. Sorry to interrupt you. That just popped up in my head right away.
Yeah, the best is the fact that Nick and Nate both have, and all three of them have so much respect for each other. Even normally most of the time when Nick fights somebody, there's like bad blood. There's like people are like, fuck that guy. And then there's other times where Nick's like, no, fuck that guy. He didn't even try to fight me. If Nick lost the fight, he's not going to give the guy props. But that fight, they still have a ton of respect for each other, which is cool. Like there's videos of them like seeing each other and they just kind of give them the nod as they're like passing across a room or something. It's like, damn.
And that's a lot from a Diaz brother, because instead of getting the nasty stare down, and the Stockton,
yeah, that's real. Recognized real.
But how about 121 to 17 total strikes, 4 takedowns to 0?
Yeah, it makes me think. How come Neil Magny is fighting with a higher output and pace even after testing positive. Oh. When he tested positive, he was looking decent, and he looks like another level since then.
You know, you think he's on that TJ Dillashaw?
Same camp, no?
Are they?
At least for a while they were, that Team Elevation or the Muscle Farm or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
For a while they were training together. I don't know. I mean, he's tested positive. He's tested positive in the past. And that might be my loyalty to Robbie Lawler being a little sour here, but
I see your skeptical hippo eyes though. Yeah. For sure. All right, man. You want to move on?
Yeah.
All right. So Rakic versus Smith.
Rakic versus Smith. Every once in a while, there's a fighter that pisses me off, and rarely is it a fighter that I'm pretty high on going into a fight that ends up pissing me off. But this one was one that he kind of pissed me off.
Please explain.
Rakic, that guy. There's so much potential. Clearly could have finished the fight at any moment if he just let Anthony Smith back up. I mean, he dropped him with a leg kick in the first round. And it wasn't like...
That was gnarly.
And it wasn't just a one-off leg kick. It was like the sixth one is what dropped him. So you know that leg's damaged. It's not just like that tweaked it weird and I fell. No, that was damaged. Vicious striking at range. Definitely could have put him away, but was content with controlling him on top, not looking for a finish, and then has the audacity to celebrate with like 12 seconds left of the fifth round. Just get up, go across the cage and celebrate like he won by knockout. And it's like, the fuck, dude? How disrespectful to Anthony Smith, you know? And like, if there's one thing that's gonna get you on Dana's shit list, it's stuff like that. You know what I mean? And then he calls out for the title shot after that. It's like, no, dude, come on, what are you doing?
Yeah, that was definitely bullshit, man. The early celebration, it was pretty annoying.
It's not super like disrespectful. It's not like Anthony Smith is a super cocky guy who he's gonna get you super irritated and you're like, fuck him, I'm gonna show him. Anthony Smith is like one of the most respectable guys in the UFC. He could have been champ.
And I think that's what was more annoying about it too.
Yeah, if Anthony Smith was disrespectful, he would have been champ. He would have been the guy that took the belt from John Jones. John Jones kneed him in the head while he was a grounded opponent, and he definitely could have taken that out. He was clearly fucked up, and he was like, no, I'm not going to win the belt like that. If he was a shit person, he would have, because then now we get back-to-back title shots. I get paid twice now. The level of respect and, I mean, he's just such a cool guy
And his walkout music.
Yeah, his walkout music. But legit. Man, a lesser man, if I was fighting John Jones and I got kneed in the head and they were like, hey, if you quit right now, you're the champ. You're the champ. And
that's two big paydays. This title fight and the rematch title fight.
Not just two big paydays, but now you keep a belt in your closet at home for the rest of your life. That's hard to say no to. Very hard.
That says a lot about him. Says a lot about that guy.
A ton of character. So when you see someone like Rakic just disrespect him like that shit pissed me off.
You know what, Will? You're right. Fuck that guy.
Fuck him.
Dude, you know, it sucks because he did have a dominant performance as well. We take a look at 136 total strikes at 20.
100%. Yeah.
You know, and those leg kicks were brutal. He does look like he's somebody that can do a lot within the light heavyweight division. And when I'm taking a look at the light heavyweight division, I mean, for sure, don't give him a title shot.
Hell no.
But how does Rakic versus the light heavyweight dime piece Prochaska sound?
Yeah, that's the fight to make, but they're not going to make that because they're now that John is gone and they have this rush to the title, they're not going to kill two of their best prospects in the division. In my opinion, what's going to happen is you have that's the fight to make. That's what I want to see. But you have Dominic Reyes versus Jan Blachowicz. That's going to be for the belt. Thiago Santos is booked with Glover Teixeira. Winner of that is probably fighting the winner of Reyes versus Blachowicz for the next title fight. I say you give
Anthony Smith falls out of the top 5.
Yeah, I say you give Rakic the loser of Santos versus Glover. And then that's what will determine if he wins that fight. Then he probably gets a title shot. Yuri, the boy, I don't know if I want him to just jump. I mean, he beat Ozdemir though, so he's kind of stuck now. He kind of has to go up. So I'm guessing what I would do is Yuri versus the loser of Reyes versus Blachowicz.
Okay.
And then where does Rumble Johnson?
Unless they want to keep Yuri active, right?
True.
And I hear you out on that one, but have you ever thought or ever heard of the UFC ruining the ascension of a prospect? They've done it before, you know.
But when they do it, it's not. They don't ruin the ascension of a prospect by having prospect versus prospect.
Two prospects?
Yeah, it's usually Yair versus Frankie Edgar or something like that. I think
throw the young lion in with the old lion to see if he's able to take him out.
Yeah. And it's interesting. How long is the probation period when you first enter the USADA testing pool? Is it 4 months?
I think it's 90 days, I thought. I'd have to look it up.
Yeah. I thought it was 4 months, but I could be wrong. I think the only time I really paid attention to it was when Brock came back to fight Mark Hunt. But Rumble Johnson's coming back. You know what I mean? So let's just see where he fits into all this, because I still think if John Jones and DC aren't in there, Rumble beats everybody. You know?
That's true. And I mean, we posted about that on Instagram, right? Where Rumble's just kind of off to the side, looking at the division right now, thinking it's a perfect opportunity for him to hop in, because he was talking about coming into the heavyweight division.
He's like, John's going to heavyweight?
Yeah. Dropping a couple more pounds doesn't sound that bad all of a sudden.
I could do it.
Yeah, I tried to look it up right now and see what the probation period was for somebody coming back into the USADA testing pool.
It's a hard thing to search. Right now.
Yeah, it just says, do they watch UP for probation drug testing? So I obviously wasn't able to find the right thing. So.
The answer is yes, they do.
Yes. Yeah, whoever posted that, Will just answered it for you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
No, but yeah, I'm right there with you, man. Rakic, I think he put in a good performance. Could have finished it off a little bit earlier. And Anthony Smith's such a nice guy. Did you watch all those videos leading up to of him with his family and how he talks about like how, growing up when he was younger, if they would have told him, hey, your favorite thing to do in life is going to be hanging out in the front yard with your fiance, with your kids, talking to your neighbors. He's like, I would have thought that was lame, but that's what I love to do now, Dude, he's just such a down-to-earth, cool guy.
Yeah, and he said, what did he say? He said, it felt like we were in two different weight classes. I think I got some big decisions to make in my career and figure out where we go from here.
Possibly wanting to drop back down?
I don't know if I don't want to see him
manhandled.
Yeah,
a couple times where he just got tossed.
His last few losses have all looked identical. It's that same, just up against the cage on the ground, just getting pummeled. Glover did it to him. Rakic did it to him. If he doesn't go back down to middleweight, I don't know if I want to see him fight again. I think he does a great job as an analyst. He's a really good ambassador for the sport. I just don't want to see him get beat down for five rounds every time he fights.
Yeah, because it's murderer's row too, man. When you take a look at middleweight division, who do you toss him in against? Edmund Shabazian, maybe.
That doesn't get me excited.
Yeah, you have Uriah Hall, Calvin Gastelum, Derek Brunson. We're talking top 10. He probably gets worked by most of those fighters.
Brunson might be a decent fight.
Maybe. And then after that, you got Darren Till, Yoel Romero, Jack Hermanson. Dude, murderer's row.
Yeah. Maybe Jack Hermanson. I would watch that.
Yeah.
I don't know.
We'll see. We'll see what he decides to do.
Doesn't get me excited. It's just, and as a middleweight, when you're in that top echelon, and it's been, people have been passing each other up. It's been up and down like crazy in that fringe around the top 5. Do you even why even take an Anthony Smith fight? What did it do for you?
Very true, man. Very true. And he was a middleweight before, right? And he had this resurgence when he went into the light heavyweight division. So obviously there was something there with that weight cut. It was probably too brutal for him.
I disagree because I think the resurgence he had at light heavyweight is because it's the barren light heavyweight created by a dominant champion, you know?
Okay, so you think it was just more the competition instead of the fact that he had to cut all that weight?
I think so, yeah.
Because even when you look at him now, he looks pretty thin.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, so I'm just imagining him dropping from, 205 to 185. It's got to be hard. It might be pretty brutal. Yeah.
Yeah, it's got to be hard.
All right, man. Well, I would still like to see Anthony Smith fight. Like you said, he's a nice guy. I don't want to see him get beat up, for 3 rounds, 5 rounds. But I think he's still got some good fighting in him.
Yeah, he's a well-rounded guy. What's scary though is now the blueprint to beat him is very evident.
Yeah. How about we throw him up against your boy Chris Weidman?
And so I can just, no matter who loses, I'm just sad.
Yes.
I'm just not happy for the winner at all. I'm just sad for the loser.
Yeah, dude. Yeah. That'd be a fun one, though.
Fucking give him... Luke Rockhold's trying to come back. Give him Luke Rockhold.
Done. Dude, this is so easy. Mick Maynard. Dude.
That division...
Take some time off. We got this.
That division is a clusterfuck right now. It's so crazy how the talent that's in that division.
No, I know. It's crazy. All right, man.
Yeah.
So, do you have anything else? I think you do, right?
Not for this card, no.
No? Sweet.
Not that I can think of.
Well, I don't have anything else. Any crazy news that you want to cover? Maybe
in a separate short little video.
Sweet. So I think that's all we got for this episode. Stay tuned.
Yeah.
Make sure you turn those notifications on.
Yeah.
All right, man. Well, that's all you got, Will. That's all I got. So I guess that makes it for this week. Yep. Thank you very much for listening to Story of the Fight this week. Have a good one, everybody. All right, everybody. Thanks for listening to the Story of the Fight. We really appreciate everybody's support. If you don't mind hitting the subscribe button, and when you do subscribe, make sure that you hit the notification button as well. That way you get notified whenever we upload anything new. Don't forget to hit the like button. It goes a long way for us. And leave some comments. We love interacting with everybody.
Yeah, and if you want to stay even more up to date, you can follow us at Story of the Fight on Instagram and Twitter. And you can email us at storyofthefight@gmail.com. Ask questions, give us feedback, critique us. We want to make this better, and input helps us do that.
Thanks for listening to Story of the Fight, everybody.